In today's video, I finally have my first wrap up of the year. What am I saying? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's someone outside. I love this lighting. Make possible the family to be possible. That's not a sentence. That's a spoiler. I can't say that. She falls in love with this man. Welcome to a new video here in my channel. If you're new, hi and welcome. I'm Ra. I'm very happy to be here. If you're not new or you already know me, hi, welcome back to a new video here in my channel. For today's video, I have my wrap up video of the last 3 months. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you every single book that I have read since the 1st of November, since the day I'm filming this video, which is the end of March. I have read not that many, I was going to say not that many books. I think I read like 17 books so far this year, which is not my usual. I usually read a bit more than I have been reading each month, but I'm in a different country, which means I am doing things that are not only reading, which means I don't have that many books, to talk about in this specific video, but I do have quite a few, so I want to go through every single one of them. I want to tell you what I thought of them, what they are about, and my thoughts and my rating and everything. If you're excited to see this video, please like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you're notified when I post a brand new video every Friday. And now let's begin with this video, because I do have 17 books to get through, and some of them are easier to go through than others, but I still want to go through all of them, and I don't want to annoy you and yap for so long, which I'm gonna just tell, but it is what it is. My 3-month wrap-up video is here, finally. It has been a while, since I filmed a wrap-up video, but it's weird for me to film every 3 months a wrap-up video when I'm used to filming every month. But this has changed, so let's begin with it, because I have quite a few books to get through. The first book that I, read in the whole year was The Reckoning by Caroline Peckham. I'm going to put the book here. This is the second book from the Zodiac Academy series. I was obsessed with the first book when I read it, and so I was like, oh, let me read the second one. This is it. It was not the best start of the year. I think it was like a 3-star. It is not bad. It's just I wasn't too into the book, but then I have heard that the second one is not that good. I've heard the third one gets a bit better, it's much better than the second one. So I will eventually continue, because I want to read the whole Zodiac Academy series and say, okay, I have read it all. But I'm not that interested right now, so I'm, taking a break from the Zodiac Academy series. This book, as I said, is the second one. And in this one, you get more, into who the characters are, and I don't remember a single thing of it, because it was a 3-star. It was not, I read it and I'm like, I'm having fun, but I am not going to remember a single thing when I have to do the wrap-up, and it is exactly what's happening. I do not remember a single thing of this book, but I read it, and it was not too bad, I think. But yeah, this book, it wasn't the best start of the year, and after that, I did read a pretty good book. I read Malcolm X Speaks, which is a compilation of some of the best speech that Malcolm X has ever made during his life. I didn't know this man existed. I didn't know he was, I didn't know he existed. I think that makes me very uncultured. But I read this book for a video, and I think it's a great book. I had so much fun reading it. I learned a lot, and it made me a bit more cultured, which I really like. I like learning things and knowing things and not feeling stupid. And I feel like this person is such an important, human being for the American history and the Black history of, America, that I felt like I had to know who he was, and I didn't until I read the book, and it was amazing. Some of the speeches are so good, oh my god, I like this man. This man was good. I liked him. And then after this book, I read We Have Always Been Here by Samra Habib, and this book is amazing. This book is written by a Muslim woman who is also queer, and she goes through how was her process of becoming queer and figuring out that she was queer while being Muslim, and how that, how being queer was involved, and how it related how weird was it to, you know, be Muslim and queer at the same time. And I felt very connected with this book because as a Christian and as a queer person, you know, I kind of feel the same as her. Like I saw myself in this book, and the writing is amazing. It was very interesting to see her experience. I love memoirs. I have a lot of fun reading the stories of people and how, you know, they went through their lives, and I love learning about it because I feel like there's always something I can get out of the book and apply in my own life. And that's what this book did to me. I felt myself so represented in the book. I'm like, this is literally what it feels for me to be queer and Christian at the same time. And I really enjoyed it. I love memoirs. Literally, if you have any memoir recommendations, you know, comments, because I love memoirs. I need to read more memoirs, so let me know. But I really like this book. This was right at the beginning of the year, so I don't really remember. You will see how when I, you know, get closer to the latest books that I have read, I will actually talk more. But this was January. I do not remember a single thing from January. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have that brain. I don't have the brain. But after that, I read Happy Place by Emily Henry, and I love Emily Henry. She's a great author. I think I've never actually gave a book of hers 5 stars, but that is because I really enjoy her books, but they're not life-changing for me. I have a lot of fun reading them. They're very fun and easy to read, and I really enjoy the romances because they're very just fluffy romances, but they're not, they're never 5 stars. They never changed my life. But it was a great book. It was good. This book, if I remember correctly, you could present it with the main 2 characters who are a couple, but they're about to break up. They're, you know, I think they're already broken up when the story starts, but the thing is they are both invited to this like you know, bachelor party. It's not bachelor, but I don't know what's the name of it. Like the 2 of his friends are getting married, and the 4 of them go to this like, you know, Airbnb, you know, on the outside of like in this very like random place that no one knows really about. It's just, you know, out like, you know, like far away from everywhere. And, you know, they are trying to go through that weekend being together when they have broken up, but their friends don't know that they have broken up. And you see them how, you know, how that, you know, happens, while you also see how they fell in love. Like you get, it's like jumping through time from present time to when they, you know, when they met, and you see how they like through different chapters how they became, you know, how they met and how they fell in love and how everything went down and now why they want to, you know, break up. And it was very good. I really enjoyed it. I don't remember the exact rating. I really enjoyed this book. It was very fun. The worst thing about this book was that after this book I read a terrible book, which is this one. This book, do not get it, do not read it, I don't know why I read, well, I know why I read it, but at the same time, no. This book is a collected poems by William McGonagall. William McGonagall is one of the most important, it's not really, poets from the Scottish poets from the, I think it's 18th century. I don't even know. But the thing is, this man was famous when Walter Scott was famous, and when, you know, that era of time, he was also there. But he was doing poetry that no one liked because it was not really poetry. And after reading this book, I can tell you, it is not poetry. You cannot consider this man a poet because he is not a poet. He is a historian. He wrote history in verse form. That doesn't mean it's poetry. It is not good. I didn't like it. I read it all the way through in like 2 days because I'm like, I'm not going to spend more time than 3 days or like a week to read this book. It is not good. Do not read the poems or anything by this man. It is not good. I spent my money on this book and it is terrible. But I read it. It was not good. It was a terrible book, actually. I didn't like it. I do not recommend it. Actually, a friend of mine has this book now because I wanted to like throw it away, and my friend was like, oh, can I have it so I can read it, or I can like use the pages for like my scrapbooks? I'm like, feel free, get it. I don't want it. It is not good. This author, I don't know why he tried to be a poet. He should not have tried to write literature because he didn't do it properly. You know what I mean? It's just not good. But yeah, I read that. Let's forget I read that, because after that I read the amount of 6 books in like, I think it was like an hour. And that is because all the books that I'm going to be saying now are written by Dr. Seuss. This is an author from like children's books in England, and I didn't know he existed. I didn't know any of these books. And one day I was talking to my friends about I don't know why this topic came up, but I think one of my friends was talking about one of the books and I didn't know the books. I was like, what do you mean? I don't know what you're saying. And my friends were like, wait, do you have never read a Dr. Seuss book? And I'm like, I haven't, and that is because I'm not English. I haven't read English children's books. I read Spanish children's books, you know, because I'm Spanish. So they gave me a list of the best books, or their favorite books from Dr. Seuss, and I went through them, all of them, and I read them. And some of them I like more, some of them I like less, but I really like them in general because I can see how the kids can learn. Like, you see how they're all very easy for kids to learn how to use different, like, the different sounds and the different, like, it's very easy, and I really like that. And if I ever had kids, which I don't want to, but if I ever, for whatever reason, end up having kids, or if I'm the cool aunt, if I get the kids from my friends, like, I get to babysit them or whatever, I'm making them read these books because they're so great. I had a lot of fun with them, and again, I've read them all in like an hour. Like, there's 6 in an hour because they're very short. So the first one I'm going to talk about is All the Places You'll Go. I didn't really like this one. I didn't see I didn't see what was happening with the book, but it was pretty fun. It's about this guy who's just going on a travel, like, on a trip, and you see how, you know, he wants to travel and he wants to visit places, and the book is all about, you're gonna visit places, you're gonna enjoy your life. So just, you know, you don't know how big the world is, just enjoy the traveling period, which I thought it was very fun. After that, I read The Cat in the Hat, and that book was good. That book was good. The Cat in the Hat. Oh my god, The Cat in the Hat. The Cat in the Hat is about two kids that are waiting for his mother. Their mother went out shopping, and it was raining, and they were alone. And this cat comes in and starts playing with them, and, you know, making the whole house a mess, trying to show the kids that they could have fun while it was raining inside the house. And then he leaves. The house is a mess, but then he comes back, helps the kids, you know, clean the house up, and then the mother comes back, and she was like, oh, how are you? And the kids are like, oh my god, we had so much fun with this cat. And the mother was like, what are you talking about? But it's so fun. And I really like how all of the books have not poetry, but you can see how all the words rhyme, which kind of makes sense because that makes the kids, you know, more interested, because you keep the attention, because it just, everything rhymes with each other, like the different words rhyme, which is very, very cool. And then I read one of my favorite books from Dr. Seuss, and it is One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish. This book, I loved it. It's literally about a fish that is different from everyone else, and what you learn from the book, I don't know why I did that. What you learn from the book is that you can be different, and it's completely okay, and everyone will love you because you are different from everyone else. Being different is important, and is what makes us human, and I think it's beautiful that it's portrayed in a book, and it was great, and I love fish, so it was so it was just so fun. I had a lot of fun with this. And then I read Halt and Here's a Who, and I didn't really like this one. It was about an elephant, so I was very excited because I love elephants. Elephants are my favorite thing in the world. But this one is about this little like animal that is that ends up in the back of an elephant. An elephant can hear the little guy, but he can't see them. And it's just, you know, this elephant and this little guy becoming friends, I think. I don't really remember, but it's fine. Then I read There's a Warhead in My Pocket, and this is probably my favorite book of all of the ones I read, with One Fish, Blue Fish, Red Fish, whatever, that one, the fish one. There was a Warhead in My Pocket. I think I've never read a book with such amazing, like, phonetics in the book. Like, it was so fun because every single word was different by one sound, making phonetics the main thing of the book, and I thought it so great. I loved it. It was so wonderful. I had so much fun. I laughed so much with this book because I had so much fun with it. It was so great. And then I read Green Eggs and Ham. Don't remember what the book was about. Don't know, but I read it. Dr. Seuss, I read your books. They're good. They're very, very cool. I like them. Then I read The House of Spirits by Isabel Allende, this book right here. I read this for a module. I am doing a translation module, and I am doing, currently I'm working on my translation portfolio, which is what I read the book for. I have to analyze some translation and stuff, and I read this book to do the base, as my base of the translation project. And this whole book is about a family in Chile. Yes, in Chile, who has the grandfather created this whole life for the family, but then time goes by. The grandfather worked all his life to make a good life for the family. He had this house. He was the landlord of this house where people rented and spent some time there, and he worked all his life to have to be able for his family to have a very good life. But the thing is, every person in the family has a power. It's not a power, it's every person in the family is good at one thing, and they use that one thing to on their favor, to get money out of it, like to profit, to get profit out of the one thing they're good at. And there's one kid that can read dreams and can, is more like spiritual and like can read spirits and stuff. It's so fun, and it talks a lot about the politics and the economics of Chile at the time it was written. It was like 1983, I think, was when it was published in Barcelona. I am doing a whole project on this. Like, I'm literally writing a paper on this. I am so into this book right now. I don't really want to talk about it just because if my head is gonna just explode. But the book is great. It's very easy to read if you want to read in English. It's very easy. I read the translation. It's easy as hell. In Spanish, it's also very easy. It was very fun. And I just had a lot of fun reading the story about, the family, and you got a lot of gossip. The amount of gossip that is in this book is crazy. Oh my god, the amount of gossip. I was just living and I'm like, oh my god, this thing, that. I was telling my friends, I'm like, this person did that with this other person, and they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, but they're like, oh my god. They were like with my vibes. They were vibing with me, even though they had no idea what this book was about, which I love them for that. Then I read Luna and the Lie. I finished, because I think I read those two books kind of at the same time, but I finished Luna and the Lie after. Luna and the Lie, Maria Zapata. I love Maria Zapata. If you don't know this, I'm a huge fan of her. I'm trying to read every single book she's published, but she's also publishing new books while I'm reading, so it's going to take me a while to catch up. But I'm also planning on doing a video for how to read her books when I finish all of them. But I read Luna and the Lie, and it is a great book. I had a lot of fun with it. It was very fun. This book is about this girl who works in this company. It's a workplace romance, and she thinks her boss is very attractive, which in my head, he is attractive. He's not incredibly attractive, but he's attractive. And she likes this, she thinks his boss is attractive, and the boss kind of likes her, but it's not really, a thing. And she needs help at one point to go to a funeral, and she asks his boss to go with her. I don't remember why, that just happens. But you see how they become, how they're working together, but they are friends at the same time, and how they like each other, but, it takes them a long time to, go through the different process of started dating someone, because the guy is very close up and very like very like, oh, I'm a man, I can't be vulnerable. And then you see he's the literal cutie pie. He's a cutie pie. And she had very bad, like, both of them had very hard lives, and you can see it how they're perfect with each other, because they had both very hard lives and they understand each other's lives incredibly well. It's a great book. I had a lot of fun. Maria Zapata writes amazingly. She writes slow burns, so if you like slow burns, read her. She's amazing. But yeah, I'm so excited to read the next book from her. I don't know what books I'm gonna read next. I think I might read With Luca With Love next. I don't know, we'll see from the ones I have which one I look into or which one I read. But I'm excited because I really like this one. And usually, there are usually a couple ones I don't like between the ones I do like, so I don't know. But yeah, and after that, I read Magnolia Parks. Yeah, I have a reading vlog of that. I'm going to put it in the eye. I don't know which side is it, but I'm going to put it in the eye. I have a reading vlog of me reading Magnolia Parks. I don't like it. I think it's very overrated. I think everyone's like, oh my god, Magnolia Parks, but I don't like it. I read it. I think I have never read a book with so much jealousy in a book. Jealousy everywhere. And it's so Gossip Girl. It's just annoying. I watched Gossip Girl, and at the end I was just, I need the show to be done. I couldn't. I don't like gossip as such. Like, if someone tells me a gossip, I'm gonna be like, oh my god. Or like, I'm gonna maybe comment one or two things, but that's it. I'm then gonna forget about it, because I'm gonna be like, it's not my thing to say. I'm not, that into gossip. But if I get the gossip, I'm fine. But then I'm not gonna do gossip. I'm not that gossipy of a person. But I didn't like Manolo Parks. The fact that he tattooed his whole body for her, and she knows every single tattoo. I'm like, what the? You have a list. I'm like, what the? I just didn't get it. I'm like, I don't get this book. It's so overrated. I didn't like it. It was very gossipy. It has a lot of cheating involved. Like, every time. It's just every time. All the time. It's cheating. And it's a fake dating at one point of, like, Magnolia with this other guy. And the problem is that I read, who Daisy Hates is. And I think I might like her book. Because I read it. I'm like, I might like her book. And I don't want to get the book. So I will probably just get the ebook. But if I actually like Daisy Hates more than her, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck is going on with my life? I'm doing an English literature course, right? Where does that, show when I read these books? Because I feel like I'm not giving, I'm not doing, what's the word? I'm not I'm not showing that I actually do literature and I studied literature for, you know, as a degree when I read this kind of books. And I feel like, you know, that kind of makes me not as a good reader of English lit. I don't know, but yeah, I read Magnolia Parks. I don't want to talk about it. I didn't like it. You have a whole video of me just yapping about the book and how I don't like it. So just go watch it, please. Instead of me watching here, just go watch that. Thank you. After that, I've read The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I didn't like it because I don't like Fitzgerald. I think he's very boring. I read another book when I read a few books from him from a couple years ago when I did a module in American literature and I had something to read from him. I think it's so boring. I have to read The Great Gatsby. Maybe that's a good one. But this one was boring as hell. I do not even remember what I read. I was reading the words and I'm like, I know what is happening. I have no clue at the same time. It was like, there's no thoughts behind the sides. There's no thoughts behind anything. Like, my brain was not working. But I don't know, it was just boring. I don't like Fitzgerald. I don't remember a single thing. I just know it's like, I don't know. I can't tell you anything about the book. I'm so sorry. I can't. Then I read The Vanishing Half, and I can tell you about that because I did read it and I enjoyed it, but it was not a great book. It's like a 3-something stars. It is a book about these two sisters that are separated at birth, and they have two completely different lives. I'm not talking about Sara Luna by Melindy, which can be, but no. And they end up like figuring out that they are actually family. And they had they're so different, and it's so interesting to see how they find out that they're like family and they're so close, because they're actually like, it's very interesting. I really liked it. It was very fun to read. It was a nice book, not, you know, amazing, but it was fine. I read it. It was okay. It was a nice book. After that, the last book I'm going to talk about in this video, because the last book I finished before I'm filming this, it was amazing book. It was an amazing book. I finished my first 5-star book of the year, and it is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Carmes. I have a post on my Instagram about this book. This book was amazing. I am obsessed with it. I've been thinking about it since I finished it. It was so great. It is about a woman who's a chemist in the 1950s, which means women in the 1950s were very, you know, sexualized, and they couldn't really do anything besides being in the house cleaning and taking care of the kids. But she's a chemist and she's a feminist. She's lovely. I love her. And you can see how she's, you know, trying to actually, you know, do progress in feminism for women in the future. Like, she wants to actually put women out there, say, hey, we can do things that are not just cleaning up and you know, cooking. And this man, she falls in love with him, and then she gets a dog. I'm obsessed with that dog. The dog's called 630. I'm obsessed with him. He's great. She has a baby at one point. She's a lovely woman. I want to see that girl grow up. Like, I wish I could be in the book so I could see that girl grow up, because that little girl, she's gonna be the next, like, Rosa Parks. You know what I mean? Like, she's gonna be such an important person in the feminist literature whenever she grows up. I'm so proud of her. And just a baby in the book, like, she's a little girl in the book. I'm so happy. I love her. And the whole book is about her, you know, showing that women can do anything, and women are important in life. And I love women. I love talking about women. I'm obsessed with women, actually. And she starts working on a TV program, cooking, and she shows and she teaches chemistry while cooking. As someone who doesn't have a clue of chemistry, I was understanding what was happening. I'm like, oh, okay, so this makes sense. This happens because of this, blah, blah. I loved it. I loved it. A great book. 5-star. Mwah. Best book I read the whole year so far. I'm so obsessed. And that is the last book I read before I'm filming this. I'm filming this like a week before the actual month is over, because I have to publish this at the end of this month. So I'm not going to be able to finish any of the books I'm reading right now to put in this video. So these are all the books that I read in the past 3 months. They're not many, I know. And that's because usually I read like 5 or 6 books each month if I'm not in a book slump, in a reading slump. I read like 17 books in 3 months, which for me is a bit weird. But it's fine. It's fine because I'm doing other things that I'm not reading. So I'm okay with it. I'm enjoying my life abroad and I'm having fun with my friends and I'm doing things that I'm not reading, which is fine. We like that as well. It's also important to take care of ourselves and not only, you know, be introverts. We have to be extroverts every once in a while. But yeah, that is every single book I read in the past 3 months. And I'm so happy that I just talked about it for a while because I needed to yap about some of these books, as you have seen. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, turn on the notifications so you're notified when I post a brand new video every Friday. And I will see you on the next video, which I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I will see you on the next video. And yeah, bye.